There will be many people which will try to intimidate you, and they will try to back you down into a corner and into a place they would feel more comfortable to deal with you. When you give in, you lose some kind of a power. When you know you're right, but you give in anyway, you lose your self-respect. This is my suggestion. Don't back down if you think you're right. Keep going forward and push forward. If you're right, the consequences will be in favor of you. If you're wrong, the consequences will be in favor of that other person that you're dealing with. If you believe in yourself and if you believe that you're right, don't back down. Don't do this. Do not do something that would make you respect yourself less. If your self respect is growing, that's a good sign. That's a good sign, and that shows you're standing your ground. But if you're losing your self respect, that means you just let anybody push you over and you just let anybody to make you do anything that you don't believe in. Always do the things you believe in, no matter how hard they really are. You will have times which you feel like you have been cornered by other people, and they will make you feel like you have lost everything and you will just be stuck in that position. Or if you didn't lose everything, you will just keep losing until you have nothing more to lose. This isn't true. They will bluff and they will test you. And if you give in, you give some of your power. If you give your power enough, you're you're like a slave. You're as good as a slave. Don't do this. No matter how hard it is, resist the temptation of giving in, because giving in will make you feel comfortable at that moment. In the future, it will be different. At that moment, you can feel more comfortable, but this will not last forever. You won't be feeling comfortable forever. Things will change. And don't tell yourself this other person is superior to me, because this is just you playing with your own mind. And if you try to get better each day, there's a good chance you will not encounter many people who are doing better in life than you. And I mean this in a very wide scale. This wide scale includes having some kind of gymnasium, doing some kind of sport, joining in a club, reading books, reading financial books, reading books on your well being, reading books which will improve your health, reading books which will improve your mental health, your psychology, reading books which will improve your mental strength. Keep doing this. Keep joining people who are similar to you, who are trying to get better, who are trying to make good things happen in the life. Believe in that, people. Believe yourself. Don't give up, because sometimes the pressure will be so hard. Sometimes you will not find anyone to stand behind you, whether they're family, whether they're friends, or whether they're co-workers, or whether they're government for that matter. You won't be finding any person if you need help. This will happen in your life sooner or later. This will happen, and one or two times you will feel like you're all alone and you're the only one that can help yourself. That might be true at that moment. That might be true that you are all alone, because humans, we do have drive. We have drive that lead us. We have our drive that makes us who we are. We always follow this drive because we want to survive. because we wish to live comfortably. Think about this. You are all alone, you have no support, and you are the only one that can take you out of this misery. And what you should do, you should stop depending on others, whether they are your mother, whether they're your father, whether they're your siblings, whether they're your friends. Stop depending on other human beings. They're just like you. They're just like you. Sometimes they do feel lost. Sometimes they feel powerless. They just have a better way of pretending than you. They just pretend better. If you are real enough, you will see this. You will see every person, nearly all people you encounter are just really actors. They do act. They do not care about the things they say they care about. They only care about their condition. They only care about themselves. They only care about their comfort. You should be critical. You shouldn't have a blind faith in others. You shouldn't be doing those things. Don't have a blind faith. Don't get blinded by other human beings. And just keep this in mind. Every human in the world have their own agenda. Sometimes they're just a little better than others. Sometimes they're just a little more ethical than others. There are definitely these kind of people, but if you just see what the majority is doing, it's pretty much the same. Why do you think that rich people are in the 1 or 3% of the all humanity? Why do you think most of the people are either middle class or poor? It's because they all want to be alike, and therefore they are all alike. They're all alike, they're imitating the others, their peers, their friends, their family, because this is the only way they know how to survive. They fear death. They fear to be abandoned if they are not complacent. If they do not obey in the societal law, they are fearful of being abandoned. That fear will make them give in. That fear will make them abandon their own soul. Maybe not other people, but they will abandon their own soul. In order not to be abandoned by other people, they will abandon their soul. And it's something very tragic. It's a very tragic thing for a person to happen to either him or her. Do not lose your soul. Do not give in. Most of the time, you will see you were actually right. But if you had given, it would be lost forever. Don't be afraid. Do not fear. Don't fear don't fear about the people. Don't fear about the others and the things they might say behind your back. They're just illiterate and they're just ignorant fools if they wish to speak behind you, and you shouldn't care about it. Just keep this in mind. People who hate you will hate. There is nothing you can do to change it, and you don't even have to change it. There is no need. There is no need for you to change it. People who dislike you will keep disliking you no matter how cute you try to look to them. It won't matter because they perceive you as a threat, because they think you are someone which is a threat to them. So they will do anything to justify their beliefs, and they will do any kind of manipulation to have the upper hand Do not give in to that narcissistic pricks. Get to see you in the next video. Goodbye.